A man played 50 rounds of League of Legends in a single sitting. This is what happened to his organs. FU is a 20-year-old man presenting to the emergency room with his eyes rolled back into his skull and his body shaking uncontrollably. He is nearly unresponsive when they wheel him into the examination room. FU was a normal college student living a pretty normal life. He had just finished his finals for the semester and was now at home, enjoying his summer break. FU had always been an avid gamer. Him and his friends would queue up together almost every weekend in their favorite game, League of Legends. Many good times were had in these games, although the party would always have to stop early before the going got really good on account of schoolwork. However, now that school is over, FU decided to go all out. He grabbed 3 bottles of Prime Energy, 2 for drinking, and 1 for pissing in, a half-eaten bag of chili cheese Fritos, his preferred brand of baby powder to control his hand sweat, and with these items, he locked himself inside his room. The next day, FU's roommate woke up to find a terrible smell emanating from FU's room. Now normally, FU's room smelled pretty bad, but this time the odor coming from underneath the door was truly foul. It smelled like somebody had died. His roommate banged on the door for FU, and when he didn't hear a response, unlocked the door himself with a spare key. Inside, he saw FU on the floor, covered in his own fluids and convulsing. After running his pockets, FU's friend called an ambulance. This brings us back to the emergency room, where we are now. Obviously, FU had suffered a seizure, but when the doctors took a look at his medical history, they saw no history of epilepsy or seizures in his past. A few broken bones and blown out rectums, sure, but no sign of anything that might be considered a precursor to the symptoms he was showing today. From this information, and the fact that the rest of his body indicated no external injuries, the doctors conclude that there must be something wrong with his brain. Now, a healthy human brain for an adult has a volume of about 1350 cubic centimeters, or 0.00135 cubic meters, and should appear distinctly in the MRI scan. However, FU's brain was much smaller. The doctors estimated that his brain had a volume of only about 13 cubic centimeters, or 0.0000135 cubic meters. That would mean that FU's brain was only about 1% of the average human adult's brain. The fact that he was still alive at all was a miracle. However, another look at his medical history revealed that, indeed, FU's brain had always been this small since he was a child, so this wasn't the cause of the issue itself. When questioned, FU's roommate brings up that League of Legends was FU's favorite game, and that he had saw it playing in the background when he found FU in his room. And indeed, a quick look at his battle history revealed that FU had been playing League of Legends continuously for around 18 hours by the time that he was found. Incidentally, it was revealed that FU's main League of Legends was Cassante.
이게 그 상태다. 체력 4700, 방어력 329, 마저 201인 챔피언이 저지불가 실드 병 넘기는 거 있고요. 에어본 있고, 심지어 쿨타임은 1초밖에 안 되고, 마나는 15 들고, W는 심지어 변신하면 쿨 초기화에다가 패시브는 고정 피해가 들어가며, 그 다음에 방마저를 올리면 올릴수록 스킬 가속이 생기고, Q에 스킬 가속이 생기고, 스킬 속도가 빨라지고, 그 다음에 공격력 개수가 있어가지고, W가
which indicates to the doctors that FU may be, in fact, homosexual. Homo being the Latin root for man or human, and sexual meaning sexuality. Therefore, homosexual in this case would mean that FU may express an interest in men, although this too is concluded to be unrelated. During the examination, while the doctors are scratching their heads trying to figure out what's wrong with FU, one doctor makes an offhand remark about playing League himself, and that he has a habit of feeding whenever his team denies him the role of jungling. At that moment, FU's condition takes a sudden turn for the worst. His blood pressure drops, and his organs begin failing, one after the other. Unfortunately, it would be too late for FU, as he would be pronounced dead of multiple organ failure, seconds after the comment. In the autopsy, the doctors conclude that years of abuse at the hands of League had led to FU's body to develop an instantaneous physiological response to the game and any mention of it. Perhaps his body began rejecting itself in protest of the strain that was being put under at the hands of its owner. The moral of this story, indeed, is to not play League of Legends.